Hey guys, I wanted to make a little video here. I'm actually going to have two videos, but this is one I'm going to show you guys that all this farm ground was sold off for these industrial uses, and I'm going to go into detail about them. Now, the first buildings you're going to see, let me turn this around so you guys can see when I'm driving. The first building you're going to see as I'm crossing over Interstate 71 and here in Fayette County, that is this one over here, right over, let's see over there. That's going to be a data center. That's going to be owned by Amazon. Well, Amazon owns it. But more enticingly, I want you guys, of course you can see that one's still under construction. But as we get a little closer up through here, let me turn it a little bit more. You're going to see even a bigger building. And it was still technically is LG Honda building, and their whole thing was they were going to make batteries for electric vehicles. Now, this whole process for this battery plant was put in when Biden was in, and of course, you know, now things are changing. I'm going to drive right by this. I mean, this building is massive. I mean, you can see where it starts pretty much right here, and then it runs all the way down. I forget how many hundreds of acres they took when they built this place. But it was just posted by one of our state representatives, who is a local here, and that LG lost $15 billion on this deal. We're still driving by this place. Move my camera around a bit. We're still driving by this place, but anyway, they're backing out of the batteries because electric car sales are just plummeted. Yeah, they're like nothing from what they were prior, when they were giving all them incentives for people to buy them. But that Honda was going to take over, and they've canceled a bunch of their models, and they're going to do hybrids now. As we get past this, I'm going to turn around so you guys can see me when I'm talking. But they're going to do hybrids because electric car sales are down. And the thing is, that whole plant was built for the purpose of doing, you know, the great big batteries for 100% electric vehicles. Well, if they're going to build batteries for hybrids, you don't use as much. The battery types are, I mean, the everything's a little bit different, but the biggest thing is you don't use as much. So that plant is not going to be able to produce, you know, what was originally said, you know, they planned and all that. And the people in like this area within, I'm going to say within 20 miles of this thing in a radius, not just the county it's in, but their prices on their properties were all inflated because of this thing, because of the tax revenue it was going to pull in, the employment. I do remember reading a post that was going to employ 2,000 people to work at this place. Well, that's not going to materialize now. And after that post was made on Facebook by the state representative, I commented. I'm being blunt about it. You know, our values were artificially inflated because of this thing. Now it's not going to follow through with what, you know, was all the hype and all this garbage. So, you know, people are, their property taxes are still going to be up for something that is not going to happen now as planned. So, man, that guy had a loud truck. But there's a lot of pissed off people now. I mean, that's just like that Intel plant east of Columbus. What is it, Licking County? They halted production. They halted the production of, finishing the place up wasn't even done. And the same thing with them poor people up there. All their values on their houses and their properties were inflated because of that place. And now it's not happening. So they're still paying inflated property taxes, inflated the house prices over something that did not happen. And it's not going to happen now. So, I mean, who do you blame? I mean, we're in a capitalist system. We're not in a democracy with this. The United States is a republic, not a democracy. It's a republic. But the thing is, do you blame the companies for not following through? Do you blame the politicians? Excuse me. But, I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of people that's delinquent on their taxes, their property taxes, because of this stuff, that they don't start showing up with pitchforks and stuff wanting some answers. Like, hey, you guys artificially inflated our values to get the taxes up, to get your revenues up. And now that's not happening. And a lot of these people is delinquent, and they might wind up losing their house over this. I didn't think that thing was going to follow through to begin with, because people don't want electric cars, and when you've got no power, you got no way to charge them. Unless you go carry a generator around with you, but then of course you got to carry, fuel with you. You still got to carry, gasoline to run the generator to charge the car. So. But I mean, it's just nuts how they got this crap going. And I could show if I'm gonna go up here to another area, and I'm gonna park and try to do a little, see if I can get another view of it. But I mean, I think that one was 400 acres that one sits on, and I don't know what this one over here where they're putting that data center at. But I was talking to one of our politicians just a few days ago, our local politicians. And I was mentioning that data center. And they said, oh, that's just one of 10 buildings. There are going to be 10 of them buildings. Okay, so I can see them getting 10 in that amount of acreage right there. But, our utility bills have skyrocketed because of this. I mean, that plant we just drove by, they literally pump the water. I forget how many miles it is, but it's down in Caesars Creek State Park. And in the wintertime, we usually drain our lakes around here, and get ready for the spring rains. Well, because of the amount of water this thing uses, they don't drain that lake anymore. They literally they pump that water all the way up I-71, all the way up here, and they got elevation tanks along the way to keep the pressure going so they can get it pumped all the way up here. But look at all that water they're using. I mean, thank God we're not getting charged for the water, because I just seen another post excuse me, where AEP, American Electric Power, now this was out off of Columbus site, that they are increasing their rates for April 1st, and it's considered just a yearly increase. And the biggest reason why they're increasing all this crap is because of this stuff right here. I mean, you've heard me tell you guys, even some of you guys watching, your electric bills have just skyrocketed. Your gas bills skyrocketed. Now they're raising the water rates. I mean, this is nuts. But now with this thing not going to happen, just like that Intel plant in Licking County, how mad would you be? How mad are you if you live in these areas? Excuse me. How mad are you at this? That you're paying an exorbitant amount of taxes, and this stuff is not happening now. you've in essence been stolen off of. You're still being stolen off of over something that's not going to happen. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I wanted to show you guys that and just talk about that briefly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they can make some hybrid. I mean, they can make batteries for hybrids. But how many people do you know have hybrids? There are hybrids. If I was forced to have some type of electric car, let me get something to drink. Ugh. I had a sandwich that was kind of spicy for lunch, so I got all that mucus coming up. I could get by with a hybrid because it's either or. But you know, I wouldn't have no electric car. That's just me. Of course, I couldn't have one because I got a 3/4 ton truck, and they've already proven that when you electric trucks versus gas truck, or you know, fuel gas and diesel trucks, they don't have the power. They don't have the capacity to go the distance these can go. But I mean, I could do a hybrid, but I don't know, maybe not even a handful of people has got a hybrid. I mean, even when we were in Florida, where it's, you know, it's nice and warm, where the winter time down there is not as harsh on the batteries as it is up here in the Midwest, because you know how cold it gets up here. Now, granted, the heat's just as bad on the battery, but the heat's not as bad as the cold is. But I just, man, these people, there's a lot of residents that's mad because of this now. That they are paying all this inflated inflated values, taxes based on the inflated values because of this stuff, and it ain't gonna happen. Okay. But you guys leave me your feedback. I mean, what's going on in your area? Do you live in Licking County? Do you also live here in the county I live in, or you know, locally where I'm at? You know, give me some feedback on what you guys think about this. Maybe you live in a different state. Has the same thing happened in your area? You know, let me know what's going on. Because I mean, I catch everything I can on the wire, and like I said, I watch other YouTubers, I watch their footage. I'm like, they're doing like I'm doing, like live footage, you know, and just boots on the ground of showing you guys this. But I'm gonna let me take this. I'll make it on my next video, because I mean, I gotta take my phone out. But I'm somewhere else that it was the same thing. They sold off all this farm ground for the purpose of something. It lasted, you know, X amount of time, and now it's pretty much done. Its usefulness has ended, and now you have wasted land that once was, you know, productive farmland. But anyway, like I said, give me your feedback, guys. Please like my video, subscribe to my page and stuff. I'm doing my best to try to get these videos out and talk about things. But this week was pretty interesting, so I got another video I'm going to be working on here in a minute when I get done with this one. So stay tuned. You can go back and watch my prior videos, my shorts and stuff. But thanks for watching, guys.